Hi once again, everyone, and welcome to TW Teleproductions North Coast Game of the Week. Here's one of my favorite scenes anywhere as far as high school sports is concerned. In the lobby at Margaretta High School with a big polar bear watching over you as you roll in the front door. And look at that crowd in the background. This is just fabulous. Margaretta against Huron. It's at the Berg in Castalia. Earlier this year, it was at Huron. It was a great atmosphere there. We're repeating it here tonight. Pre-game is brought to you by Noble Axes, axe throwing in downtown Sandusky as we look out over the duck pond in Castalia and then inside the school building with the emblematic polar bear in the middle of the Margaretta M. And always neat to look through the individual halls of fame, no matter where you go, what school you attend. State champs from 1932. I just missed it by a couple of years. And there are the Huron fans, the student section, all dressed in their Army fatigues and whatnot, and getting ready for the action in the ball game in this one. And these theme nights really are pretty cool. And look at the way everybody's packed in. I mean, this is just the way it used to be in the quote-unquote old days, where if you didn't show up at 6 o'clock and get in your seat, you weren't getting a seat. And this is kind of like that atmosphere. And then you have a double overtime freshman game, and you got this crowd cranked up a long time before the varsity game ever starts. There is the hat of the week, by the way. That'll be a feature starting next week after we see the big orange hat. Polar Bears making their scene at the Berg. Huron cheerleaders greeting their ball club as well as the Tigers make the trip across Bogart Road to the Iceberg. And the Huron students loving it and voicing their support. Two of the more vocal crowds in the SBC matching it up here in Castalia. Dave Majoy's on the scene. Oh, well, somebody I now might not know him by the name Dave, so Bluegill, okay, now you know who it is. There's me pretending to actually work, and Bill Zimmerman just kind of waiting to get the varsity game started because he doesn't do anything before the varsity game starts, period. And here are the formerly attired Margaretta fans who are ditzing the nickname Farmeretta and are formally attired for this contest tonight. Your Fan of the Week is brought to you by Snow Trails Winter Resort in Mansfield. I'm sorry, we kind of talked about that suit on the radios. No better description. It's kind of a vomit green, but no better way to come up with what kind of green it really is, but with all due respect. There's the Kelly green of Margaretta on the cheerleaders, and some missed the memo. Well, I guess that is kind of formally attired, depending on which way you're looking at life. No Farmeretta tonight. It is all formal wear for the Polar Bears. Here in coaching staff, Bobby James on the right, the head coach with Shane Fisher and Tom Kowaleski, assistants right alongside, and into the Huron adult section on the stage. And here is Steve Keller, the head coach of Margaretta High School. And between Bobby James and Steve Keller, you will see intensity galore in this ball game tonight. The polar bear crashing through the wall. And this is all choreographed pretty well.
Welcome to Margaretta High School tonight's SBC.
Drew Grawl talking to the fans over the PA system at MHS as we look at one of the younger polar bear fans. The tribe tonight. Little does she know what she's in for. It's like, Mommy, where's all this noise coming from? It is Huron at 6-0, Margaretta at 6-1 in SBC Bay Division play. A battle for first place, and you'll see it next on the Game of the Week. If you're at the Berg, you have to be at the pond as well. And our first quarter being brought to you by Civista Bank and by Snow Trails Winter Resort in Mansfield. Still one of the greatest scenes in high school sports when you look across the pond into the village. Here are Dylan Holer and Jake Leibacher jumping, and we are underway with Margaretta controlling the ball first. Now, both of these teams have great defensive numbers. Huron only gives up 43 points a game, which is ridiculous. Margaretta, not much behind that at 47 a game. And a lot of times when you talk about those numbers before a game, the total opposite ensues. You end up like 80 to 78 or something like that. But we'll see the way this one unfolds. Leibacher first on the board for Margaretta. Jake averaging just over 19 a game, and he is off to a quick start in this one. Here's another look from Matthews Ford. And the whole thing, you watch Leibacher there. He's got a great explosive first step, and then he stops on a dime and gets himself open. I mean, it's just not anything that you are born with, folks. You just work on it, and you work on it, you develop it. You're born with a certain amount of skills, and how good you're going to be just depends on how much work you put in. And Leibacher, I think, safe to say, along with Holler on the other side, definitely gym rats. There we're looking at the defense early by Leibacher as well. In case you weren't aware of it, you got swatted. This is Hayden Wiley down low. Not going to count, though. I had it written down on my sheet as a basket, and all of a sudden we find out, nope, it's not a block, it's not a foul, it's not a basket. You come up with a call. They called traveling. I don't agree with that call. But even looking for Matthews Ford again, 2 steps, And Margaretta still ends up with the basketball. So block before the shot. There you go. And Margaretta holds on to possession, taking away a 3-point opportunity for Wiley. Anytime you see Leibacher with the ball, you don't know what's coming. He could pull up, shoot the 3. He could explode off the dribble to the basket. And he can play post awfully well. And again, watch the first step here. He's posted up against Rager and just quickly uses that baseline to the hole and it gets fouled and now has a chance at a 3-point play. And Luke Rager with his hands up in the air like, not me. Well, Leibacher with the 3-point play, and Margaretta jumps on top 5-0 early in this contest. You see both these teams playing awfully good man-to-man defense. That was just a great look from Rager to the cutter, Mark Hurst. This is just being around each other. Hurst beats his man in the basket, and Rager did a great job of finding him for an easy 2, and the Tigers are on the board, now down by 3 early in the contest. It's kind of a half push hook by Wiley, coming down short of the mark. And the Tigers trying to close that 3-point margin down a tad. Got all those Margaretta students standing in the background, waiting to explode. And there you get a look at the Huron students doing the same thing. You know, it's really cool because earlier this year over at Huron, Margaretta had so many students, they put them on the Huron side in one whole section of their own. And here at Castalia, Huron has so many students, they put them on the Margaretta side with a section all of their own. This is just one of those games where both teams just really buckle down and get after it on the defensive end and really make you work for anything you're going to get. Look at that. Back-to-back steals and turnovers forced by great defense. Joey Shade now realizing he was actually stuck too far under the basket to make that one work. Otherwise, it's an easy two. Another steal, that one by Nick Babka, and a run out for Dylan Holer. We've got a 1-point ball game at 5-4. Margaretta with the lead. Babka with a nice find on Holer running the floor, and that really could have been a foul right there on Nathan Schaefer. And turning that into a 3-point play, but nothing called. Ends up at 5-4. Nathan Schaefer with a nice drive to the basket for Margaretta. Extending that lead back out to 3 points at 7-4 as we take another look for Matthews Ford. And again, Schaefer beating his man to the basket and then even beating two people coming out to help. Just off the mark by Hurst from long ball territory. And at the other end, Leibacher exploding to the basket for two. The Polar Bears lead it by 5 at 9-4 as we watch the run out again off the... Well, look at the great rebounding position that time by Wiley. Schaefer finds Leibacher on the run. Leibacher doing it picture perfect. Get wide on the floor so everybody can see you. Get away from the defense. And then you just bombard the basket. Leibacher sweeping off the rebound as well. Short on the long ball. And the Tigers with Tate Fisher going to the free throw line. The son of assistant coach Shane Fisher. One out of two at the line makes it a 9-5 game. That game with just over 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Schaefer just short on a three. So the ball goes back over to the Tigers. Down by 4 on our Civista Bank scoreboard. Saved by Bodie to Cam Sosa. It's a rim rattler, and you can hear all the reaction of the fans in the background. Whoa. Holer just off the mark, and the rebound by Gage Bodie and the run out. Broken up by Babka. Good hustling defense. For being a group that is formally attired, sure do make a lot of noise. Nothing conservative about that bunch. Bears kind of winding time down here in the first quarter. Remember, the last point scored was a Tate Fisher free throw back at the 2:09 mark of this quarter. And your Civista Bank scoreboard remains the same. As the first quarter winds down, Colson Beal just rattles the rim. And a quick run out. An attempt by Babka at the buzzer after the buzzer, so it doesn't count. Great shot, just a little bit too late. It's Margaretta by 4 after 1. Your second quarter being sponsored tonight by Gunlock Sheet Metal. Heating and cooling since 1889. keep everyone comfortable with gun locks and Precision Body and Frame, located on Sandusky's west side. Precision Body and Frame. There's your score after one on our Civista Bank scoreboard. Bobby James, head coach of the Huron Tigers. And as you can see, when you get these panoramas of the gym, there's people in every part of this gym. Putting the photographers in the doorways, and well, yeah, don't think we didn't see you back there. Broken up by the Margaretta defense, and Leibacher starting to break down the floor to Bodie. Unable to get a fast break basket, so the Margaretta offense goes to work. Leibacher had one of those first halves where he didn't miss a lot. See, we talk about Leibacher's explosive first step, but it's that step on a dime pull-up that he's got as well that just makes it awfully hard to defend. Entry pass for Holder down low. Leibacher on defense. And steal by Leibacher. Leibacher run out. Jake to the free throw line. Watch again. Leibacher coming up with a steal and then starting the break to the other end as well. Bodie on the rebound, and it's going to be Leibacher starting this trip up the floor again for the Bears. Olsen Beal on the feed down low, and there's Huron's defense going to work on Leibacher as well. Jake getting 1 out of 2 at the line for a 14-5 Margaretta lead. Special thanks going out to the following businesses for their support of the North Coast Game of the Week.
This is Signs of Good Business. Keep it local. Brady Signs. Toft, Funeral Home and Crematory. Stephen J. Toft, owner. S&H Blinds and Floors. Wendy's. The Crimus Company, Asphalt, Concrete, and Excavation. Pizza House West.
Talking about powering to the basket, right there you've got Dylan Holer winning the battle to get the Tigers back to within 7 again at 14-7. Second quarter at the Berg. Pull-up jumper by Schaefer off to the left, and jump ball on the rebound.
Substitution for the Bullets, number 20, Jake Leibacher.
Jake Leibacher went out in that second quarter for about 13 seconds. Was right back on the floor. Get a drink of water and ready to go, coach. There's that pull-up again. Leibacher in this first half proving to almost be impossible to guard. Little screen set, and that's just enough room off the switch for Leibacher to pull up and knock down that 15-footer, and builds the Polar Bear lead again to 16-7. Luke Rager, nice drive to the basket. He'll draw a couple of free throws. Luke is a great free throw shooter. On this trip, getting 1 out of 2. You get the Tigers back to within 8 points again at 16-8. Rager almost 93% this year at the free throw line. That's just crazy. Speaking of crazy, here's Leibacher again. Doing it inside, outside, you name it. He is just on fire in this first half. Grabbing the jersey. He'll do anything to try and stop him. And he still fights through it, gets to the basket, and scores. So it's a 10-point Margaretta lead, their biggest of the first half at this point. After the missed free throw, it's 18-8. And at the other end, Mark Hurst sees the opening and draws the foul. And Palomo either practicing his hopscotch game or he didn't agree with the call. Hurst with a couple of free throws gets the Tigers back to within 8 at 18-10. Both these teams actually pretty good at the free throw line. Huron as a team shoots nearly 73% at the line, and Margaretta as a team almost 81% at the line, which is almost unconscious. Again, you can see that Polar Bear man-to-man defense, little reach-in foul, and Palomo again. Like, you guys are picking on me, man. Kicking violation on defense. And the Tigers going back to work again, down by 8. Oh, there's a nice backdoor cut by Holder, and again, Rager doing a great job of finding him. So an and one coming up here for Dillon. Watch this again. Right through that little seam. Little backdoor cut by Holder, and he cashes in and draws the foul as well. This is your Red Zone Restore Pro Disaster Cleanup Restoration Red Zone Replay. You can see Leibacher had gone to help out on defense, and that created the seam for that backdoor cut, and Holder read it beautifully, and Rager right there to find him. 18-13 now. We're back to a 5-point ball game, as Steve Keller wants to talk about it with his ball club. So we will take time to thank some folks for supporting the North Coast Game of the Week. And they include Matthews Ford, Toft Funeral Home and Crematory, Hermes Parker Concrete, Noble Axes, Payne Nickles and Company, Sandusky Steel and Supply, Steinemann Hafner Insurance, Civista Bank. Here's your Civista Bank scoreboard showing Margaretta with a lead of 5 right here at 18-13. Nathan Schaefer having somewhat of an off night from the field from what he usually does. There's the cutter again, and Rager just mounting assist after assist as Tate Fisher gets the Tigers back to within 3. Those are little things that really don't show up in the box score sometime, but when you've got a point guard that's so good at finding his teammates, it's just so invaluable. Need I say, dare I say, Leibacher again for Matthews Ford. Give him an inch, he'll make you pay. 21-15. There could be a career in law in his future someday. Who knows? Margaretta with a 6-point lead. And needless to say, you're going to have to watch Jake again. How? Bobby James, you can see him out on the floor, incessant with his defense. We can't lose
Signs
that,
of
man.
good business. Keep it local. Crush Wine Bar. Noble Axes, axe throwing. Dockside Cafe. And Pier Pub Bar and Grill.
More folks that support the North Coast Game of the Week, and right now we look at our Civista Bank scoreboard and show back-to-back threes for Jake Leibacher, putting Margaretta up by 9 at 24-15. Tate Fisher with a nice baseline drive, couldn't finish it up. Margaretta ends up with the loose ball off the rebound. And Ben Palomo's making it hurt a little bit more. 11-point lead is Margaretta's biggest of the first half. On our second look for Matthews Ford. Palomo in a great place to just get those shoulders squared up and knock down the jump shot. And Margaretta putting a run together right here. Double team on defense. A kick by Schaefer. Reverse layup off the mark by Fisher, who wanted the foul, didn't get it. And then Palomo, another dagger. That's an 11-point run for Margaretta after Huron had closed to within 3. And now it's a 29-15 advantage. A blocking foul by Wiley, stopping that drive by Shade. Trying to get the ball into Holler down low, kicked away and out of bounds by the Bears. And then Dylan Holler knocks down a long ball for Huron, ending that 11-point run. And it couldn't have come at a better time for the Tigers. Margaretta now will go for the last shot of the first half, try and extend their 11-point lead. And that shot misses at the end of the second quarter after Margaretta outscores Huron 20-13 in quarter number 2. The Bears have an 11-point lead at 29-18 heading to the locker room. Another great panorama of the duck pond in Castalia. Our third quarter coming up, brought to you by the Old Fish House in Huron with knickknacks, snacks, and all sorts of BS facts, of course. And we're also sponsored by Ehovie Career Center, vocational education for Erie, Huron, and Ottawa counties, located in Avery. Coming up will be our player of the game for Paddle and Climb. We'll give a $20 gift card from Paddle and Climb to our player of the game following tonight's contest. Yeah, we see you. Don't you try and get away from this. That poor child of hers. It gets snapped every day. And there's even a couple times the kid looks at the camera and says, if he could talk, Connor would be saying, "Get away from me, mother." She hadn't got the message yet. Here we go, second half of action. Huron and Margaretta. Polar Bears taking an 11-point lead into the locker room. Well, Jake Leibacher did right there what a lot of coaches will tell you don't do. Don't lose your feet on defense. Because when you do, that's when you're out of control, and then it's hard to make that up. And Holler takes full advantage to start the second half on a positive note for Huron. Not enough court to work with that time. And the Tigers get it back on the turnover. Palomo trying for the save, but had his foot on the line out of bounds. The Tigers go back to work again against this Margaretta man-to-man defense. Luke Rager. Boy, talk about a nice up and under right there for Rager. Little ball fake to the right, spin move to the left, and Matthews Ford will give you a good close look at it right here. Up, under, and in perfectly off the back of the iron. 29-22, Tigers with the first 4 points of the second half. Closing down what was an 11-point lead at the break, down to 7. Holder on the defensive glass for Huron. And Joey Shade. Darn, if only I hadn't put my shoulder down. I think that's what the official is looking at here on our second look for Matthews Ford. Watch that right shoulder. Yep. The defender's moving with you. You have an advantage until you buck that shoulder down and bowl him over. Then the advantage turns the other way. Boy, what a nice feed from Palomo to Leibacher for an easy 2. It's your Civista Bank Facebook Play of the Game. This is again what penetrating the lane will do. Palomo from the elbow. They go to help, and that leaves Leibacher open for the easy 2. That's just great vision by Palomo. Knowing where the defender came from usually is going to leave somebody open. That is your Facebook Play of the Game, brought to you by Civista Bank. And it's a 9-point game again at 31-22. Polar Bears with the advantage. Tate Fisher spins free in the baseline. It's a 7-point game again. Rebound by Hurst. And he'll control the ball up the floor. Nice feed from Holder to Joey Shade down low. And Shade, despite crashing to the floor, will get that basket to fall. This is called Bringing the Heat for Gunlock Sheet Metal Works Incorporated. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and refrigeration since 1889. See Shade with the screen out front. The old-fashioned pick and roll. Holder finds him perfectly, and Shade gets the Tigers within 5. Hurons come out of the locker room with an 8-2 run to get back to within 5. That's Bringing the Heat for Gunlock Sheet Metal Works Incorporated on Columbus Avenue in Sandusky. Leibacher cooled off a little bit at the break. You know, sometimes you talk about a team that's really hot. They hate when halftime gets here. For Huron, they probably needed halftime. You can see they're a little bit reinvigorated here in the second half. And the Polar Bears cooled down a little bit. Palomo, short-range jump shot wouldn't go. Holder with the rebound, and back to work go the Tigers. Luke Rager again, baseline. How's that for a reverse layup? Nicely done by Rager. And now all of a sudden, it's a 10-2 run by the Tigers, and they're back to within 3. More thanks to more supporters of the North Coast Game of the Week. They are J Bistro in downtown Sandusky, NOMS Podiatric Medicine and Surgery, Good Time Lake Erie Cruises, Cook Aluminum, BGSU, Firelands College. There's your Civista Bank scoreboard. Tigers closing to within 3. Polar Bears remaining cold to start the second half. Tate Fisher deep in the corner ties the ball game at 31. It is our first time since Margaretta scored the first 5 points of this game that Huron has caught the Polar Bears. Nobody on Fisher. Give him room. He's money. 13-2 run. This ball game tied at 31. Talk about a great start for the second half for the Tigers. No foul call before the shot. Are you a lip reader? Polar Bears, again, a deliberate possession. A lot of that forced by the Tiger man-to-man defense. Leibacher through traffic. Dylan Holler, what are you talking about? 3-point play opportunity right here for Leibacher. Here's a second look for Matthews Ford as Leibacher sees some room. A pretty good defensive play, but Leibacher takes advantage at the line and gets it a 3-point lead again for the Bears at 34-31. So they respond to the Huron run. Ben Palomo on the defensive glass. Margaretta ball. Luke Rager's defense breaks up. The Polar Bears were hoping would be an easy 2. Joey Shade on the glass. And here come the Tigers. Bowler around a screen, pops open, and buries the long ball. And we are tied again at 34-34. Just a little bit of a screen that Holler uses to his advantage right here around Joey Shade. It gives him just enough room. A little confusion as to who's going to go get him, and Holler's another one. You're going to let him shoot the threes, chances are it's going to hurt you. Tied at 34 now, down to the final minute of play here in quarter number 3. Huron outscoring Margaretta so far this quarter 16-5. Turning an 11-point deficit into a tie ball game. Margaretta, again, working the clock down, looking to get a possession that can give them a lead at the end of 3 quarters. You see the clock in the background winding down, so Margaretta has to start thinking about who's going to shoot the ball. Schaefer ends up with a pull-up 3 that's off the mark, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter, tied at 34. Duck Pond sets the scene for our 4th and final quarter, brought to you by Marketplace at the Cook in downtown Sandusky. Here we go, all tied up at 34-34 after quarter number 3. Into the final 8 minutes we go. The ball game tied for the second time, and both of those ties coming in the 3rd quarter. Ball broken up by Schaefer. Huron holding on to possession from right in front of their own bench. Nice spin move by Rager again, but the ball just rolls off the hoop. There's a third try for Margaretta on this possession. Here comes Gage Bodie in the paint. A little turnaround off-balance jumper. Well done. And the Bears are back up by 2 at 36-34. As we'll look again for Matthews Ford. Kind of fell a little bit off balance, so it was a nice job of getting that ball in the basket. 2-point Margaretta lead. Adam Murray gets one that just circles the rim and pops out of there. Cam Sosa with the long ball for Margaretta. Look at Palomo unable to get to the basket because of the double team. Double teams leave somebody open, and that this time happens to be Cam Sosa. And Margaretta's lead is back up to 5 at 39-34 as they score the first 5 of the fourth quarter. Well, as leaders tend to do, they're there when you need them. And Dylan Holer answers the bell right there to make it 39-36. Tigers back to within 3. And when you've got a defensive game like this one, all these possessions down the stretch are just crucial. In the long run, you look back at this game and think, man, these guys played under pressure all night long, and what a show they put on. A great, great high school basketball game. Pull-up jumper by Nathan Schaefer. Rims off to Dylan Holer. Mark Hurst on that baseline drive. Gets the Tigers back to within 1 again. As Margaretta scored the first 5, the Tigers come back with the next 4. There's that patented pull-up by Leibacher. That one wouldn't go. Dylan Holer all over the glass. Crazy thing about Holer, he almost averages a double-double. Look at his numbers on the year, and he's 18.5 points a game, and he's 8.5 rebounds per game.
Signs of good business. Keep it local. Crush Wine Bar. Noble Axes, axe throwing. Dockside Cafe. And Pier Pub Bar and Grill.
Now, these are some folks that are enjoying this ball game for the most part, except those that are still texting. Get off the phone. We got a great game going on here. Margaretta with a 1-point lead on our Civista Bank scoreboard halfway through the fourth quarter. Boy, Mark Hurst did a great job of getting to the basket. That's just bad luck. That thing wouldn't fall. With the Huron fans in the background chanting defense. And yeah, that's been the story for most of this game. Both teams playing really good man-to-man defense. See lots of these timeouts down the stretch of this one. Is that any way for formerly tired people to be acting? On this night, absolutely. As we talked about before, just great atmosphere for this game all night long. And Jake Leibacher off that great feed. Patience, patience, and patience until somebody finally pops open. And look at that little touch feed from Bodie. Nicely done by Gage, and Leibacher gives the Polar Bears a 3-point lead. Talked about how big these possessions can be. And of course, when the clock starts winding down into the final 2 minutes, if you're at a deficit, you don't want to waste too much time. You want to get shots up. You want to increase the amount of opportunities you have to make sure that you stay right in this ball game. The Margaretta defense with some other ideas right here, making Huron use some clock. Or Leibacher came up with a steal, and Jake's response was just about the same as Coach Geller's. That kind of says it all right there, doesn't it? Watch Jake's response here on Luke's drive. I mean, Rager does a nice job of creating this. Leibacher thought he came up with a clean steal. It's like, ooh, really? I mean, every call critical, every possession critical. This is high school basketball at its best. This is what we missed so much of last year and are so glad to have it back again. Tate Fisher. You talk about clutch. Oh, my. That same spot in that left-hand corner. Pow. 41-41 tie. That's our third tie of the game. And the Polar Bears trying to unlock it again. Leibacher taking his time. In other words, Polar Bears playing to win it right here, tied at 41. Listen to the crowd. Polar Bears with a timeout. This is good stuff. See the clock in the background down to the final 15 seconds of a 41-41 tie. Surprise, surprise, a ball in the hands of Leibacher to start things off. Somebody's got to get a shot. Never happens. We've got overtime. Tied at 41 at the Iceberg. Well, it's a showdown for first place. Both teams begrudgingly going down in this one. There is a fight to the finish. Tigers with the first possession of overtime. That little pull-up jumper by Rager. How can the ball hit the rim that many times and not go in? It's amazing. That's a fight to see who can grab that first lead of overtime and grab the advantage. Leibacher to the line. Jake on the year, an 81% free throw shooter, true to the mark there on both of them, and the Polar Bears are up by 2 at 43-41. It's a 4-minute overtime session. Very familiar chant coming up from the Margaretta cheering section of Let's Go Bears. Mark Hurst, wow, left hand. Tied at 43. This is worth another look for Matthews Ford. A little hesitation and exploding through traffic and shooting over the defensive Leibacher with that left hand. 43-43. But coach, what do you want to make me work with my left hand for? That's why. Never know when that left hand's going to come in handy someday. Both teams treating these possessions like they're worth gold. Because they are. They're worth a share of the conference lead anyway. Huron with a 1-game advantage at 6-0 coming into this one. Margaretta at 5-1. And they're fighting for that conference championship just like you would expect. Palomo, nice spin move to the hole. Margaretta grabs the advantage again. So you keep working and working until finally something pays off where you can take advantage. Look at the spin move down low. That great big drop step by Palomo off the dribble. And it's a 2-point Margaretta lead on our second look for Matthews Ford. Now the Tigers forced to come from behind again. Now, Huron has never led in this game. They've had to play chase all night long. They've had it tied on 4 occasions. It's exhausting to have to keep coming from behind over and over and over again. But somehow, they keep doing it. That's kind of what champions are made of, and both these teams got a lot of them. Well, you could see it. A good look from there. Watch Tate Fisher with his left arm on this drive. Fisher, baseline, watch the left arm. As soon as he extends it into Palomo, you know it's going the other way. So now the Tigers got to dig in on defense. And see 2 people after the basketball. Watch this. Watch Dylan Holler. All day long they've been doing this rainbow shooting or the rainbow passing out in front. Holler picks one off. And Rager draws the foul. That's just great offense. Rager forcing the action. Huron has to score. Watch this defensive play by Holler. Just got enough of it to take it away. And then here comes Luke. He's got his man moving. And Rager actually, that's what I love about basketball sense. Rager actually forced the contact, but the foul comes on Schaefer. That's good offensive basketball. Rager knocking the first one down to make it a 1-point ball game again at 45-44. Now we've got a tie ball game again for the 5th time with only half a minute to play. There's your Civista Bank scoreboard, locked up at 45. Now, what does Margaretta do? Play for the win? Look at Huron's defense all over the place. They are ball hawking. You don't want to foul, obviously, because you would put Margaretta at the line with 1-1. Down to 10 seconds left to go. Margaretta shooting for the win. Kick out to the corner. Watch this game-winning shot. Stuck! And what's even cooler now, watch the clock in the background. The officials made a great call here. Clock winding down. Here comes the shot by Bodie. Thunk. I would have guessed more like 0.7. They put 0.8 seconds on the clock. And, of course, when the ball gets stuck up there, it's a jump ball, alternating possession. Happened to keep it in Margaretta's favor. Polar Bears come out with a 4-across set on the baseline. And Huron saw it. They wanted to design something to defend it. This is this is critical basketball. Watch the play. Watch the play. Palomo, ball game. And mass hysteria. Unbelievable finish. Heartbreaking loss for the Tigers. Electrifying win for the Polar Bears. Just a classic high school basketball matchup between two outstanding basketball teams. Well, you know, they're hugging Nathan Schaefer. Why? Nathan didn't have his best shooting game of the night, but you've got to make the inbounds pass right here. Here's your player of the game. It's Ben Palomo for Paddle and Climb. He wins a $20 gift card to Paddle and Climb. But Schaefer's got to make the right call here. He's got to see what's happening in front of him. As they put the pressure on Leibacher, Palomo curls open. That's your game winner. Ben Palomo of Margaretta, your Paddle and Climb player of the game. It's like they rehearsed that or something, you know? Watch Palomo coming from the backside block, guarded there by Joey Shade. He's with him. He loses him. They were too worried about Leibacher, and Palomo's the man that comes open, and the celebration begins. Man, what an electrifying finish to an outstanding ball game. Margaretta 47, Huron 45 in single overtime, and both teams now tied atop the SBC Bay division at 6-1, and they both yet have to play Port Clinton. What a finish we are in for. Thanks for joining us on TW Teleproductions North Coast Game of the Week.